Hello everyone and welcome to my how-to Wargame Airland battle out of the closed beta. As you surely will notice, English is not my mother tongue, so I have to apologize. My English is not the best, but I hope everyone can understand at least the important things I want to say. So what is this all about if I say how to use, or how to in a special case? And I have read several topics in the official forum about this game, and there are plenty of players who have trouble with some units. They don't know how to act in several special situations. They don't know how to counter some strategies, and I have to say some don't even know how to use some units they should know how to use if they don't want to lose them. And so I will try to give some people an idea how to use special units, how to use their decks in general. And to show this, I will make every day one video, or at least one video, to show everyone how they could use their unit. This is not meant to show them how they have to use these units. It's just an advice. You don't have to use it. Maybe it will show you some new ideas about using units. Maybe you will say, oh, what a shit is this crap all about, and I don't know what you may think, but you will know and you will see, and maybe you will leave a comment about units you want to see and about things you want to know about the game, and I will try my best to answer them as far as it's possible for me. And if you post about units you want to see I should make a video about, just leave a comment also and I will do them as fast as possible. So I will start now with a basic instruction about this game, and therefore I have created a special deck, and of course decks are here to make your army working, and of course this is not a deck for an actual battle, so don't make this battle or don't make this deck for yourself. You will not be very happy about it. So well, what is this all about? Of course this is a strategy game, as every one of you should already know, and as we can see there are several science sectors, and of course they all have a name: Alpha, Charlie, Bravo, Echo, Delta, Golf, Foxtrot and Hotel. And if you look at them, of course some of them have numbers, at least Alpha, Charlie, Delta, Echo and so on have one, but Bravo and Foxtrot, for example, have no numbers. These numbers are meant to be your income, and I guess every 5 seconds it is you will get these points you already own on your account. And as we see, we already did 3,800, and this is quite much. You will rarely see such high numbers in games, but it's just for general purpose, because I want to show you some things. We just start now and look at our number up there, and soon there should, yes, there we got the first 3 points. And if we capture Charlie now, for example, we will just get more of these points. So how do we capture these points? As you can see there, this unit with the star in its name, the M151A1 CP, is a so-called CV, a command vehicle. You need these command vehicles to capture points like Charlie or Bravo, and we will just send one of our M151A1 CPs to do this. So you don't produce, of course, your units in this game, you just call them as reinforcements. So you can call over there all your reinforcements you have in your deck. I will show you, of course, if you want later on, how to make your own decks, but for now it should be okay. As you notice, there are 2 lines at this point. There is just one, there's just one, and there over there. A total there are also 2. So maybe you will ask, okay, we know this line is for the units, but what is that for? This is for air units like our F-14 Tomcat. So we just call it now in, and you will see this unit come from this line. Maybe if you have played the predecessor, the Wargame European Escalation, you have missed these planes. But now, as you can see, they are in-game, and as you can see, they are really well designed. Maybe not everything at every unit is right, but that's not our problem. So air units are something else, but this is just a general information, and air units will be used or talked about later. This is just for a first view. Well, our M151A1 CP is on its way. And while it's on its way, we take a closer look at this thing here. This is a FOB, and you may ask, FOB, what the hell is that? This thing is about, if you look there, what, 10,000 of 10,000, what they list is, you got supply units, and these units are used for ammunition, fuel and spare parts. Ammunition and fuel should be clear, and spare parts are very handy if your units get damaged. These spare parts are used to heal or repair your units. And while of course ammunition and fuel is clearly easy to understand what's used for, you may ask, how do I deliver them if, let's say, we got a tank there and it's damaged. So well, therefore we got our logistics and our supply trucks, or supply Chinook in this case, supply, oh gosh, how these things are called, chopper? Well, we got these supply units, and just call one or two of these things. And the M35 cargo, of course you can see this yellow thingy there. It shows how much supplies are in this unit already, or still yet. And these things do have just 500 each, so it's at all 1000. This is not so much as the FOB, but there is of course plenty of these supply trucks, and you will have a harder time with calling more FOBs, because you can just place them at the beginning of the start if you have them in your deck. And of course they are not as mobile as these things. But if you, I will show you that later. But if you use your units and you have to resupply them, you can of course use your M35 cargo. We will move them now to this command vehicle over there and resupply it. And as soon as these things are empty, you can drive back and get new supplies from this FOB. Well then, this is the first view of the basics. As you can see, our command vehicle stands right now directly on the street. This may be handy if we want to move them, but usually people tend to hide them in these forests. Or, of course, at Hotel there is a larger forest. You can see it there. It's quite huge, and it's hard to see a command vehicle in forests. Unfortunately, like in Echo, you can see these forests aren't even worth to say. These are forests, just a few trees. And if you know the enemy owns this one, and you know there have to be somewhere in vehicle which make this people own, or this guy own this zone, you will know there are most of the times the command vehicles. So if you in this position to own this thing, you know, don't place your units in forests. At least if the enemy is quite close, because usually people tend to shoot these things. So well, our M35 are there, and you see 998, and this unit is resupplied. It had right before 58 units of fuel, I guess. So let's move back, and with fuel at the FOB. Of course this is not very useful in this case, but well. Okay, that's about placing your units. In this case, for Alpha, you should especially not place your unit in the forest or in your starting positions, because these are very important. If you lose them, this is most of the times a deadly trap. So well, where should you place your units? Of course, in this case we can place them everywhere. As long as there is no one who can discover where our units are, no one will just fire there or there or there. So it's completely up to you, but if you got not that much forest, Alpha has acceptable forest, but like Echo, you should place your units somewhere else and not in the forests. Well, and if we move our command vehicle, we will use this spot, and as you can see there, we don't have anything to call new troops, and that means we can't click on this button and call new troops, and this is most of the times deadly. So always leave a unit at your starting point, because as you can see, we just got one line there, a small line or a thin line, and we just can call from our starting points these air units. This is very important. So if you got a game with teammates and these are going to several spots, always make sure that someone, at least one, will leave a command vehicle there. Well, these are supplied, and 998 units, so it's getting empty. Wahaha. Well, of course not so fast, but as you should have noticed, the change have made. Well, of course there are, as you can see, there are plenty of command vehicles and everyone got its drawbacks. For example, the M151CP or A1CP is available in large numbers. You can call at least, or you can call 6 units of these, so that makes a very good beginner unit. Then there is the Humvee command vehicle, and this one is not so often available, but if you compare these, you can see at the bottom left corner of these windows, this one is at least a bit armed with a Browning, and it's way faster. This unit can drive 90 km per hour and this unit just 55. But of course there are just 3, there are 6, and this one is a bit more expensive. Usually you shouldn't use your command vehicles to fight, because the enemy will always try to kill them as fast as possible. Well, then we got armored variants and we got a command tank. And while this thing is of course very impressive, it's also not made to fight actually, because 200 points, well, let's say for 200 points you can buy better tanks who are better in fighting and most other stuff, and usually can buy 2 tanks or 3 or 5, 4 or 5 to recompensate battle power you can get through a command tank. But these have other oh gosh, how do you say, not a drawback, the opposite thing of drawbacks, and because they are armored, and armoring is something you shouldn't underestimate, especially for command vehicles, because usually, as you can think about, these things, these little jeeps, are easy to kill. They are not very stable, they are not armored, they don't have much HP, also hit points, and this is of course a bit better armored with 9, 2 and 4 and 2 at the back, and this is quite handy most of the times. You can see there, side, back and top is not so bad, not so well armored. So in this case, this is the side armor and this is the back or the rear armor. And if someone shoot at this unit, it's not easily killed. Of course it wastes way more fuel, as you can see there. Oh my gosh, it's already quite empty, and this one just needed 2 units to come to this place. Well, but that's of course for a tank, it's heavier and all that stuff. So, well, I guess that's about command vehicles. And a first preview of support lines, and I guess next time we will have a closer look to infantry and support. So well then, I thank you for your time and I hope you have enjoyed this one. Let's see next time.